up guys, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch review for you. Today we are looking at another fall collection, this time by Cuccio. It is the Bella Natura collection. Pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. I googled it. I could be wrong. Google is sometimes wrong. Anyway, this collection consists of 8 different shades, a couple of shimmers, and a bunch of beautiful fall creams. So if you guys are interested, then just keep on watching. So as always, I'm using base coat underneath all of my swatches. This is of course the Cuccio base coat, so I'll link that down below if anybody's interested, but I use it pretty much all the time. So first up we have the shade Be Current, which is a purpley brown cream shade. This is pretty much the exact same color of a Hershey bar wrapper, for those of you who are familiar with Hershey bars. It's a little bit patchy on the first coat, but on the second coat I do get full coverage, and it is an absolutely stunning shade. This for me is such a fall color. It's so beautiful. This will carry me through winter. I think it's so beautiful on its own. I would love to see this with a little gold glitter gradient. I just love it. Next up we have the shade Rock Solid, which is a dark fall red cream shade. It's a little bit dustier in real life than it shows on camera. I do think that red is pretty much a staple color to wear in the fall. I do love wearing bright reds, but I love slightly dustier reds like this as well. It was a little bit bright on the first coat. Once I threw on that second coat, I did get full opacity, and I found that it was a little bit darker and dustier, and I really love the way this looks. Not especially a unique color, but I think it's really nice to have a fall red shade. Next up we have the shade Gaia, which is kind of a dark salmon-y pink shade, and this one had an absolutely amazing formula. It was almost a one-coater for me, and it looked so nice on the nails. That being said, I have no idea why this is in a fall collection. Like I said, really love that formula. Absolutely amazing. One coat coverage. I threw on a second just to show you guys, but I'm like, this is a summer color. I would have loved to have this in the summer. I think it's so beautiful. It is slightly dusty, so I guess that's what makes it fallish, but I don't know that I would wear this in the fall. And next up we have the shade Rooted, which is kind of like the light peachy salmon color. Again, absolutely amazing formula. This one was a little bit more sheer, so it was almost a one coater, but I did have to throw on 2 for full coverage. And this is another one that really confused me. I get that it's like a dusty shade, and maybe it's for people who really don't feel comfortable going past like pinks and reds, but I don't necessarily feel like this is a fall shade. I feel like this would be a really great summer pedicure color. I wish I had it a little bit sooner. Next up we have the shade Natural State, which is a really beautiful burnt orange cream. Now this right here is a fall color. On the first coat it was a little bit sheer. It almost had like a jelly-like formula to it, but once I threw on that second coat I was able to get full coverage. If you have long nails you might need to throw on a third just because it might show a little bit of visible nail line, but again, just an amazing formula. Absolutely stunning color. This to me screams fall. It's so beautiful and I love wearing oranges like this. Next up we have the shade Branch Out, and if you watched my favorite greens video you will know that this immediately became a favorite for me. This is a beautiful olive green shade that has a super warm undertone. On the first coat, tiny bit sheer. On the second coat, I did get full coverage, and I think this is such a stunning green shade. I love it for fall. It probably looks a little different in this swatch than in my other video, because in the other video I did direct lighting. Here I've got indirect lighting, so it's kind of interesting to see how that undertone kind of shifts in different lightings. Totally love it. Next up we have the shade Nurture Nature, which I was really excited about when I saw it in the bottle because I thought it was going to be like a blackened gold shade, and it has a lot of really interesting shimmer in it, but as you can see once I started applying I realized it was a topper. However, I'm not sure how I feel about it as a topper because it's in sort of a sheer milky base that is pretty dark, so I feel like it's gonna darken whatever color you put over it, so I don't love that. I did try to make it a full opacity color just to see what that would look like on its own, and it was still way too sheer to wear on its own. I don't know that I would wear this over another color. Maybe I would wear it over black, but I'm not sure. Looking back, I'm thinking I probably should have tried this over another color just to showcase it to you guys, but I was a little disappointed, so I just went and moved on to the next color. And lastly, we have the shade Rolling Stone, which is another one that I was really excited about in the bottle. It's almost like a gray blue shade that has a really interesting silver shimmer in it. And again, once I applied it, I realized it was super sheer. This one has a very dark purpley blue base to it, so I don't think this is a glitter topper. I think this is meant to be full coverage, but with 2 coats, it was still super patchy. I ended up getting full coverage on the third coat, which I ended up applying a little bit thick, and I think that for some people, you might need to throw on a 4th coat because because my nails are really short, so you can't really see much of that visible nail line. I was pretty disappointed with how this turned out. I think I could probably wear it over black, but I feel like that will kind of ruin the purpley blue effect of it. So again, a little conflicted, not too impressed with this one. So that is it for this collection. Honestly, loving the formula on these. I feel like Cuccio makes absolutely amazing creams. Their shimmers could have a little bit of improvement, but I still love the creams so much, and we do have a couple of really beautiful, unique shades in there that I'm really excited to wear for this season. So these polishes retail for $6.95 USD each on the HB Beauty Bar website. I also have a discount code. You can use the code KELLI for 20% off of your order there, and when you're there, make sure you get the Cuccio base coat and the Cuccio high gloss top coat or their 7-second top coat. Those are my absolute favorites. I use them pretty much all the time, so much so that if I use another base or top coat in a video, you guys totally notice and call me out for it. So that's how you know that I will use it way too often. But yeah, I will be doing a video on my favorite base coats and top coats, so stay tuned for that. It's not just Cuccio, I do use other base and top coats, but they are definitely on my top 5 list. So yeah, that's it. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you think of these colors, if there's any that you're planning on picking up or if you have any already, and make sure you subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed, because I do a ton of nail polish reviews. Alright, that's it, so I'll talk to you guys later. Bye! I feel like a salsa dancer in this shirt. I never show my shoulders. Is that a fun fact? Oh, you guys want to know a weird fun fact? This is actually a story that happened to me years ago. Oh my gosh, I was 19 years old, so that was, oh my gosh, am I 28 now? That's terrifying. But yeah, that was almost 10 years ago. When I first started like really getting into nail polish, I remember I wanted to buy a holographic nail polish, and at the time it was not a widely known finish and it was not very popular or easily accessible, and I think the first brand that ever like came out with a holographic nail polish that was like a big deal, I think they were called Layla, and it was only available at Ulta, and I wanted it so badly, and the nearest Ulta was 45 minutes away, and one day I just got in my car and I drove the 45 minutes to Ulta just to get this nail polish. It was like $15, which at the time to me was so absurd. And I remember my friend called me because it was in the middle of the summer, we were in school. She was like, oh, do you want to come over and go swimming? And I was like, oh, I'm in XYZ town, 45 minutes away. And she did not believe me that I was there to get nail polish. She thought that I was going there to see an ex-boyfriend of mine because he also conveniently lived nearby, but it hadn't even crossed my mind. I was literally just there to get nail polish, and this was, you know, before I was on YouTube, so it was hard to believe that I would drive that far just to get my first holographic nail polish, but that was absolutely why I did, and I immediately drove home and applied it on my nails, and I was actually a little disappointed because it wasn't as holographic as I thought it would be, but that's not related. So yeah, that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!